Pronghorn Nation back here with Chase Horsley, the Horseman, alongside with Coach Liz Lewis. Coach, I mean, let's talk about this little game strand that you guys had. Obviously, we weren't able to do a coach's show a week ago, so we kind of have a lot to talk about through a lot of this stuff. But tell me how the ending of regular season went for you guys.
It went, we did really well. We had 3 games there. We went on a 3-game losing streak. We lost to Casper, Laramie, and Eastern. I think it's a matter of growth for us, understanding that you can't lose focus for a single second in conference play. Because, that bumped us from having a chance to be first all the way down to third. And so I think that's a great learning experience for us as a whole, understanding that you got to come out every night ready to compete. And it's, we are young. We have a lot of young players out there, and I think it was a really good lesson. But we turned it around, came out on top against the last 2 games on the road against Central and Northwest, and I thought we competed really well in those games.
It's always about turning something around, making sure that you can always propel to the next one. And so losses are hard, especially when you go 3 straight, and especially trying to bounce back. But let's talk about some plays here with, obviously with Rochelle off of Manuma. She had some really big games, especially in those losses as well too. But talk about some of the performing styles for these players. I mean, Rochelle, Danae, she had a nice little game of 13 points as well too. What'd you see from the scoring aspect?
Danae's really come into her own. Like, we're really excited to what we've seen from her, especially the last couple of games. She's just a phenomenal athlete, and she plays completely on instinct, and that's kind of fun to watch and fun to coach. And I'm just very impressed with what she's done the last couple of games, and she's stepped up and been a leader for us out on the floor, and she's doing really good things. But, Rochelle, same with Rochelle. She's a monster out there. She is. She can get it done on the boards, and she can get it done scoring, and that's what's so hard is she can score from that mid-range, which is tough to guard. And you don't see that very often in the women's game, especially at the junior college level. And so it's really fun to see her ability to elevate and be able to hit those mid-range shots that are really tough.
Yeah, and those mid-range shots, obviously you have Arna Bright, who is normally there, that can, pretty much be open, shoot those big shots as well too. But it's just been all of a team effort throughout everything. And it goes from defense to offense. The one things that you guys were able to do were rebounding wise. You guys were able to out rebound both 2 opponents on the road as well too, with 44 rebounds against Eastern Wyoming and 57 against LCCC. And when I saw that number, I was just like, is that? And you just pretty much doubled theirs.
Well, when you shoot the ball, when you're 2 for 17 from the 3-point line, you get a lot of opportunities to rebound.
True, absolutely. But turnovers, that's the one thing that that stuck out to me, 28-18. Tell me a little bit about maybe how some of those were coming down. Was LCCC just putting a lot more pressure on that they did here when they were here at home?
We just have those turnovers that are tough, that are just open court turnovers that lead to them scoring. And those ones are momentum killers. They're things like that are just hard when you turn the ball over in the open court and give them an opportunity to get an easy bucket. And so, I'd rather throw it into the stands to at least get it out of a dead ball situation than turn it over in live play. But that's something that we have addressed and talked about a lot, especially going back and watching the first quarter against LCCC. We were just very sloppy with the ball, which led to them getting easy buckets.
So now I'm kind of curious. Obviously, your play, you played basketball for the longest time. You play right now as well too. I won't tell people where, but do you ever have a time where you'll just throw it into the stands as well too to try to get that dead ball, or did you whenever you were younger?
I said, I'd rather do that than an open court turnover. So
understandable.
It's just we just got to be stronger with the ball and make pass fakes and shot fakes and things like that. We just got to do a better job and being a little bit more solid passes and things. So it's stuff that again we're learning and hopefully getting better at each game. But on somebody else's court and their home court, first quarter we just really did not come out very well against either team, against Eastern or LCCC.
Obviously you try to see if you can start resting some players, especially when you kind of get to the end of the season so you can get ready for that tournament. Was that something that you were trying to do for Central Wyoming, or were you trying to obviously play all your best players to make sure you guys get the job done, or what was kind of the mindset?
The Central game was actually really, really nice because we got to play all 11 players there. And so everyone that was suited up, we got to get everyone minutes in the game, and that was really nice to see, and to see those performances from everybody. But it was really a great opportunity, especially on the road, to be able to share minutes. And so that was, and still come away with the win. So we were really excited about that opportunity.
So coming back, now you have Region 9 play.
Yes.
It's win or you're out.
Yep.
So pretty much I would say win or go home, but you're already home. So
Yeah.
I guess that one doesn't really work out. But you win, you move on. But it's another game against LCCC.
Yes, it is. Yeah, we
And
just saw them.
You just saw them. What does your mindset go from, especially a team that you just saw, not even but a week ago,
Yeah.
that you saw? What does your mindset shift to? Do you kind of just focus, be like, okay, hey, it's a brand new set, or is it like you're going back, obviously watching all these films and stuff, but what are some of the differences that you're doing from this game compared to what you did during the season?
Well, I think one of the big things that we really stress with our team this time of year is that it's anybody's game. What you've done up to this point really doesn't matter anymore. Like, it matters in the moment, but right now it doesn't matter. Everyone's 0-0. And so whether you've beat a team before or they've beat you before, it doesn't matter come tournament time. And understanding too the different, and we talk about this at the beginning of the season, is understanding the different intensities of each season. You know, you've got your preseason things that you do and the intensity there, and then your non-conference games, the intensity goes up a little bit, and then your conference games, the intensity really goes up, but then come tournament time, it's a whole nother level.
It better be to the roof.
Exactly. It's the most intense that your season's going to get. And so understanding that coming out on that game, you know, LCCC is going to bring everything they have on Saturday. And they're going to, they're on the road, but they're also 0-0 just like we are in tournament play. So it doesn't matter what you've done. You have to come out, and you can't coast through anything. You have to come out and you have to lay it all out on the line on everything we've learned since August 22nd.
You know, you talk about being on the road. Well, on the road is like 4 hours away,
Yeah.
so it's not that big of not that big of a jump. So there's still going to be some LCCC crowd out here.
Yeah.
I know the last time it was pretty packed from when they were here last time as well too. So they do know how to travel
Yes.
with the crowd, so
Yeah.
they can easily turn a home crowd into their crowd
Yeah.
type of situation. So you always have to be aware of that. But LCCC, they've kind of struggled, but as you said, 0-0 throughout the rest of the year. You win, you go, move on, you lose, you're done. So with that mindset and that mentality, obviously, we'll talk with Marija here in a few moments, but shooting percentages wise, this was something that we've talked about throughout the season. Through teams have been able to put up a lot of shots, and their percentage whenever you guys are able to win the games is lower to about the 25-30% range, but for them to win, they're normally around that 50-40%. So what's the goal? To not let them get that many shots, but also keep that percentage back down so you guys can balance that out.
Well, and the defensive goal is to obviously bring the intensity and to make them take low percentage shots. And then obviously secure the rebound after that. And so being able to pressure them and to put them, into places where they're not taking normal everyday shots, like that's what we want to do, is pressure them, get the ball out of their, top players' hands. And so we've been working on that all week and prepping for Saturday. And so, it's what's interesting about our team though, as far as percentages, and this is something I pointed out to the girls, is it's interesting that we can score in the 70s and 80s and only make 2 or 3 three-pointers. And that's a crazy statistic.
Yeah, that's
is to be able to score that high but not shoot it very well from the three-point line. And sometimes we are the best practice shooting team I've seen, but then come game time, it's a different intensity and a different speed, and you just gotta we gotta get able to knock down those shots in games. And so whether we make 2, 3, 7 three-pointers a game, our ability to still score the basketball is actually pretty impressive.
Just playing some old school type of basketball when the three-point line just did not exist.
Yep.
And you have players shooting all the way back from three-point line, but it's still only counted as a 2. And now I think a lot of them are probably upset because now the three-point line is there. But
it would have been different for sure.
Speaking of three-point shooting, you have a lady on your team that when she comes in, she can really put up the three, and especially in some desperate times as well too. And that's Marija Marinkovic. Tell me about how her season has gone, especially from a coaching standpoint that you've seen from her.
You know, Marija is a really great kid, and she's a lot of fun to coach. She is. She's got a really fun personality. She's a great teammate, and she's been great to coach all year round. And you know, she kind of went through what she thought was a little bit of a slump there for a while in early January, but I'm very impressed on the way that she came out of it. And you know, she's shooting the ball really well for us, and you know, she's one of our best free throw shooters too. And so we got to do a good job of executing our stuff and getting her the shots that she needs, because she can knock them down.
And not only does she do that, but she also dives for those loose balls, like definite. And one of the things I'm gonna have to ask her, if she like hurts herself sometimes when she's doing that, because it's just like the intensity, full motion.
And it's such a huge improvement from her freshman year to her sophomore year, because a lot of times, you know, some girls are afraid to dive on the floor, and so once they learn how the intensity does help you not get hurt by just going after it. Like I'm very impressed with like how much she's improved in her toughness from her freshman to sophomore year.
That's awesome. Well, we're going to talk to Marija coming up here after this break. Again, you're listening and watching Coach's Corner here on our Pronghorn YouTube athletics page. Remember, you can check out all the basketball games as well too here on this page as well too. We'll be back here. We got Marija Marinkovic coming up your way here with Coach Liz Lewis, Chase the Horseman Horsley. We'll be back. Welcome back, Pronghorn Nation, to our Coach's Corner, as we are here with Marija Marinkovic now. And Marija, first off, I mean, the start of the season to the ending of the season, tell me a little bit about how you think your guys' play style has gone.
I think we came together as a team really well, and like our chemistry was good from the beginning, and we just came together like as a team. And I don't know, it's hard to find.
Just kind of started like clicking.
Yeah,
together.
it just clicked. So I don't know, it's just hard to find a team that's gonna click that fast, I think, together. And yeah, I think that was the most important part.
Hey, 21-9, not a bad season.
Yeah,
so,
not a bad season.
You know, we go back and look at some of the games this past weekend that you guys had, and obviously there was a lot riding on it, but there wasn't a lot riding on it.
It was a crazy weekend.
I guarantee you it was. How did that atmosphere and that weekend go for you guys?
I think we had a great weekend and great opportunity to learn from these games. It was some ups and downs too, because we lost 2 games on the road and we won 2 games on the road. So I think we had to learn a lot from that and yeah, just move on.
Obviously, postseason's coming up. I mean, it's this week, Region 9 hosting. Are you guys ready? I mean, what's the locker room vibes? Are you guys just like pumped, ready, excited for this?
We are ready. We've been working hard too on the practices and everything. We're just like getting ready every day and trying to like push to the I would say pain, but like to the
push the limits.
Push the limits. Yeah, push to the limits, and like trying to make each other better, and yeah, it's just like be more competitive with each other.
You know, jumping into your scoring opportunities, you've been one of those people that have been able to, you know, come off the bench. You started at the very beginning, but it's now been like your important role has been scoring the basketball, especially in crucial times. I mean, I've been seeing some big 3-pointers from you. Then you drive in, get a nice layup when it's been mattering. I mean, personally for you, how important is that team role for you?
I think even if I'm not starting, I'm supposed to be ready anytime. And when coaches are ready to sub, I'm just like looking at the coaches. I'm like,
me.
I'm ready. I'm like just waiting for my minutes. I think I should just take that opportunity and just like take the minutes that I have and just show on the court. And yeah.
You know, obviously you're international, but how is basketball different from America to international level?
There's a lot of stuff, but I don't know. When I first came into America, I was playing in my high school, and we were playing AAU. Yeah. But like that's totally different than college and high school and everything. And it was just like, wow, this is like low key, like fast basketball. Like you're just like running, doing stuff. It's kind of like faster than back home, I would say.
So is it slower pace? Like more people wasting more time?
Faster than
here it's faster?
Yeah, back home, I would say.
Yeah. And did you guys have a shot clock in high school throughout all that as well too, or because I know here
Back home or
yeah, and back home.
yeah, we did. It's just like college. I would say college is more similar to the back home, but like high school was different. Even the clock was like different. Like you
Yeah.
have 8 minutes on high school, but you have like 10 minutes per the quarter.
So there's
here.
different timing. So how? Okay, so now you got me going. So how was the time different? So back home, so did you
We
have
had
like
10 minutes, yeah, 4 quarter, 10 minutes.
10 minutes on
But
both?
yeah,
Interesting. That's actually kind of cool. Well, I mean, it works up your endurance level
yeah,
as well too.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess that's something to really be
Yeah.
thankful about.
yeah.
But is there anything from like your childhood coaches that you've taken away to your game to now? I mean, playing at the college level and constantly being one of those prolific team players. Has there been something from your childhood coach that just has really impacted you and you've always worked on it?
Uh, I would just say that like I learned so much being here compared when I was back home. Like coaches are not like paying that much attention to teach you like all the like mental stuff and stuff like that, and like to believe in yourself. I would say and have more confidence. You have to work it on like by yourself mostly. So because coaches doesn't have that much time to like spend it on you and like work on your like mentally. So I would say that make a big difference compared to the like basketball here because coaches are actually like making sure you're doing well, checking on you, and like make sure that you're mentally okay, have confidence, all that stuff. So I would say that's the big difference that I like here compared to the back home.
Gotcha. Well, you know, you're talking about big differences. Talk about Coach Lewis coming to play for her, and what has her being a role model for you on the team been like?
I would say because I'm here like 2 years, I would say compared to the last year, I've grown a lot because the whole program is making us like grown. Like I would say we have a lot of like meetings, word of the week, and all of us from the team has the word that you have to talk about confidence, about believe, about everything. Like, and we're just learning from that. I think that's one of the really important things that coach is just making sure that we are going to the right path and yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you know, it's helped, you know, because obviously with her coaching and then you're coaching back home, you know, you became like this star player that's
Yeah.
always been like that sixth man off the bench or,
Yeah.
you know, get the start and doing what you need to do for your team. But I want to jump more into the defensive side because obviously, you know, we've talked about offense,
Yeah.
but defensively, you put on some really good pressure as well, too.
Thank
And
you.
I mean, if you guys haven't seen her play, I mean, the fact that at one point there's a defender wide open and all of a sudden they're not open anymore because she just sprints at him, and I'm always a little bit worried you're just going to knock him over, just a little bit.
You
But
saw the diving for the ball sometimes.
yeah, diving for the
Sometimes
ball.
sometimes I just don't feel it. I just dive for that ball because it's right there. I'm like, let me just dive it. Maybe I'm gonna have it.
So now let's go into the fact diving for the basketball. Obviously, a hardwood floor. We're not playing softwood basketball. So, how many times have you hurt yourself trying to dive for the basketball?
Sometimes I just don't feel it in a moment. It's just like that energy. This like
It's like
I
adrenaline
want the
rush?
ball. Yeah,
Yeah.
I want the ball, and when I dive for it, and if I save it, I'm like, yes, I actually did something, and like it was like worth it, you know.
Mm-hmm. That's
So
understandable.
sometimes I don't feel it, but like after 2 minutes, I'm like, oh my god, my elbow, I hurt it. It's hurting or something.
You're like,
yeah,
Coach,
it's just-
hold on. I need a moment. Need a moment.
But yeah, I just don't feel it. It's just that moment that I'm like diving for it, and that's it.
Diving for it and doing what you got to do, right? And obviously, you know, you talked about those 2 losses that you had and then
Yeah.
the 2 wins that came up, and then now you guys get a host. But
Yeah.
a lot of it was because of defensive pressure. The defensive pressure
Yeah.
in the first 2 games wasn't as much as what it was in the second game, but you're also facing the same team that you guys lost to
Yeah.
coming up for this first round. So what do you take away? I mean, was there some big spots in that game that you guys need to really focus on moving to that part? But what are some of the things you took away from that?
About LCCC game, I think our defense was bad in a way that we let them shoot a lot, and they're a pretty good shooting team. Like their percentages are really good.
Yes.
And that was the only thing that I think we would have taken. How is it? Taking him out of that? Like
Try to keep him, keep him
trying to
away?
keep it.
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
Try to keep it away.
Yeah.
So anything else, I think Dasani and Rochelle can guard the posts. So they're doing a pretty good job on that. And that's it. And talk more, communicate. That's it.
Yeah, and the one thing that, you guys out-rebounded them, 57 to 28. The only thing that they outdid on you was the turnover margins, 28 turnovers to 18. I mean, was that, and that's where that pressure was coming in.
Yeah.
Were they just, putting so much pressure on like fast breaks, or was it just like something that they were like, yeah, we lost last time, so we want to make sure we get the win, especially here at home.
Yeah.
I mean,
especially at home.
So what are some of the things that you saw that they did differently from the first time that you guys played them here at home?
I don't think they did anything more differently. Just like they were taking really good shots, and
just the shooting aspect of things.
I think it's just the shooting aspect. I mean, they had that big girl that was scoring sometimes, but on the post. But I still think that there's nothing more like different than how we were playing them at the first time. Just those shots from the 3-point line. That's it.
Absolutely. Well, want to jump more into some of the team play and stuff. I mean, obviously, mindset, preparation, you're getting ready for this Region 9 tournament, but who's been the person, in your opinion, that has been the always, like, go-to, like, team leader, making sure that the team is set, ready to go for every game, or the one that's always
Who's giving, like, energy, you would say?
Yeah.
I would say Jada. I would say Jada, yeah. Jada is the one who was bringing a lot of energy, and in the huddle and everything, like talking, and yeah, I would say it was her a lot.
Is there anything that she does, like maybe like screaming, yelling, just being like the hype man type thing?
Yeah, that type of way, yeah. She would
Okay.
just like hype us before the game and everything, and if we messed up something, everyone's gonna be probably upset about if you did something wrong in defense, offense, whatever, but we're all here for each other, so we'll just talk with each other, be like, it's okay, get next one, and that's it.
Yeah, getting the next one, trying to keep pushing, get things done. Obviously, the Region 9 tournament is like, you guys got to keep winning to keep moving on and getting to Western Nebraska as well, too. So a lot of things, and the game's here at 6 o'clock on Saturday. So, we're excited. We're ready for this ball game, and it's going to be a good one. And we're going to get one last question in here for you. Obviously, we talked about team leaders. We've talked about funny people throughout all this stuff. But who would you say that, without giving all the clues and answers, who would you say is the most underrated player on the team that maybe teams are starting to underlook or overlook on your team? On your team.
That's a good question. That's a good question. Maybe I have to think about it.
So there might not be anyone. Everyone may just be like that.
Because everyone has their like specific, I would say.
Their specific points and spots that they need to do.
And we're all good at something, but like there's something that we're not doing that well. So we're all specific at something. So it's a hard question. I really don't know.
Hey, it works. Let me give you an easier one. What's your favorite hobby?
What's my favorite hobby? I like to draw.
You like to draw?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm really good at that.
What do you draw?
Basketball players.
Basketball players?
Yeah. And when I'm back home, because I don't have time here.
You have little time, schooling.
Maybe after season, but like I want to focus on the basketball and school now.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah.
No, that's awesome. Well, Marija, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate
Thank you
it.
for reminding me.
Awesome. Well, we're going to get you back to some more Coach's Corner. We're going to go back to Coach Liz Lewis Coming up here with more of our Pronghorn Coaches Corner, from Marija Marinkovic to Chase Horsley, the Horseman. We will be back here in a few moments. And welcome back to Coaches Corner. Chase, the Horseman Horsley here, alongside with Coach Liz Lewis here. And, first off, Marija Marinkovic, man, what a character. We had some fun. We had some laughs.
Good.
And, I also learned something internationally, is that the time difference is different. It's 10 minutes, everything there. Here, it's like high school basketball was 8, and then, then 10 minutes. And so, did you know that, or did you know about
because it's crazy how different the game is. Even from country to country, but even like the ball that they play with, it's a lot of international basketballs are a little bit more like sticky, and so ours is a little bit slippery to them when they first get here, and so it's just But see, Marija, thank goodness, she spent some time in high school here,
right?
And so that helps her with the adjustment. But yeah, every time you get internationals from different countries, it's important to, explain different rules and different things like that to them, so that they're not as surprised when they get out there.
So now the question is, do you guys have a day where you guys just pass the basketball back and forth, like when they first get there, so they realize that the ball's not as
Nope, we
sticky?
Just get after it.
just like, lost that basketball. They start dribbling, just like, that's not sticky, and then do a crossover. There goes the basketball.
I've had a lot
of
internationals comment on that, and so it's kind of interesting. Even I've had some high school kids comment though on just the different basketball from high school to college, the Spalding versus the Badens versus the Wilsons and stuff like that. So it's something that honestly, as a player, I never really noticed or paid attention to.
Yeah, honestly, even as
basketball's a basketball.
Yeah, that's how I looked at it. I mean, because when you're playing rec league and things like that, people are like messing with the basketball, and they're like, oh, this one dribble's good. I'm like, it's just a basketball. Use the basketball. I played like a few years of basketball, so I only got the youth side of basketball. I'd never made high school teams or college or anything like that, or else I'd be taller. So, but anyways, besides that point, I've learned a lot from like these international players, especially looking from Arna as well too, the new basketball game that it's not new for them. I mean, the basketball with no backboard and netball, and it's just it's crazy seeing like what the difference is that you don't really think about, especially here in America, because you're just like, well, basketball has a backboard and we don't play netball. I mean, we got a thing called pickleball, but that's a little different. But
it's kind of interesting, but it's really fun coaching. Like having the internationals on the team is really fun, just to learn about their countries. And, a goal of mine would be to visit every country of every player I've ever had, but I don't know if that's financially possible, but it would be awesome to do that. So
if you want to donate.
But it would be really cool to visit those countries and to, after you learn about their backgrounds and just the differences. And some of them have a hard time adjusting to the food and things like that at the beginning. And so it's a process in helping them get acclimated to our community and our culture.
When we go internationally, obviously you're recruiting, and I feel like it's a lot harder to recruit internationally. Do you actually get to travel, or do you have to do like everything like via Zoom call and have someone there?
A lot of it's a Zoom call, or a lot of it's a contacts that you have over there. Former players sometimes will help you out a little bit, but it's all about just your connections over there.
Huh.
So, interesting. We don't get to travel over
there. You don't get to travel? That's dumb. No. Man, it's like free trip going to Germany or going to New Zealand or something like that.
The higher levels definitely do. I know Australia has a big showcase that a lot of higher levels get to travel to and go watch that and stuff. So it's if
only we can make that a thing.
It's just awesome to have the internationals. It really is. And it's like I said, this year we've got really good kids, and we got kids from Canada and Spain and Australia and New Zealand. Like it's actually kind of cool to bring the different. You got girls from all over the world.
Oh yeah.
And you're bringing personalities and things like that together to come together as a team, which is a thing that we've been really done a really good job on this year, because our culture and everything. It's funny because you see like some improvements we've made from last year. You see the stats, you see the records and things like that, but there are a lot of things that you don't see as far as statistics and stuff, as far as culture and just the chemistry with the girls. And so it's been a really enjoyable year, but we're not done yet.
Not done yet. Nope. Still pushing through. I mean, the internationally kind of makes me, I go back to thinking about the Casper College team, because it's like all internationals and there's like one American, and I'm sitting over here, I'm like, man, you must do a lot of Zoom calls now apparently or something, because that's so cool. I mean, especially because when you go back and you think, okay, well, international players, obviously they have to learn the new game of basketball here in America, but there's some similarities, there's some differences. Obviously, if they've come to the United States to play basketball before, they've kind of already figured that stuff out. But what would you say, besides the basketball, would be probably the hardest transition for each international player that you've seen come in to play for you?
I'd say definitely the food, but also like as far as basketball goes, I think the intensity and the other things that are part of the process of college basketball, as far as like conditioning, weight training, things like that. It's just different. And so I think that's kind of an eye opener for a lot of them, and kind of a little bit shell shocked as far as, you know, that it's not just the 2-hour practice a day. There's so much more behind the scenes and things like that. Like I said, the extra conditioning and weight training, things like that, to get your body ready to be, you know, become a better athlete to play at the college level.
You know, and it's crazy because you see all these international players that come in and they could just, you know, have the endurance level, obviously, because we talked about the 10 minutes that they play each game, and in high school played 8 minutes. So they've kind of already built that level of, okay, hey, we play the game for this much time, so I have to figure out how to conserve this much energy each time I'm on the court.
Well, a lot of them play with the 24-second shot clock too. That's a difference too.
Yeah, because in high school here they don't no shot clock or anything.
I'm so glad we're getting one.
Back home in Oklahoma, there was a school, and we're off topic, but there was a school, and I think the game was either 3-0 or 2-0
No way.
by the final, because they were trying to basically protest the shot clock.
Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. They were trying to protest the shot clock.
Like there's no shot clock,
That's
no
in Oklahoma,
nothing,
huh?
and so
Wow,
yeah, that
that's
was back
crazy.
in Oklahoma, and then everyone was like, "This is why we need a shot clock," and I'm like, "Yeah, we needed a shot clock. I mean, it would help, but
For sure. That's
Yeah.
crazy. That's crazy.
yeah." So hey, there's something new that you
Yeah,
didn't.
that's
know.
good to know. Yeah.
So hey, if you're trying to protest the shot clock, there you go. I'll tell them that. But we go back into this. Obviously, LCCC. We look at that game, but we also looked at Eastern Wyoming, Central Wyoming. Then go back to that Casper game as well too, where, you know, we even go back to, and this is something that you've talked about with intensity. We go back from not being able to cheer from the bench, but also because the warning happened and everything from that spot, and then now you're moving on, having to keep the momentum. How hard was that to try to keep the momentum, get those girls back, you know, especially when you're going on the road now and you just had that situation? How hard was that to keep moving?
You know, and I was very impressed with the girls and being able to handle, you know, a hard loss here at home to Casper, because that one was a tough loss. And being able to come back the next day and bounce back in practice and do an excellent job competing in practice. And then, you know, it was tough on the road against Eastern and Laramie. But then we came back and we were able to beat Northwest and Central on the road. And so, you know, these girls are resilient. They're tough. And I tell them it's a long season. It is. It's a long season. And your ability to be tough, especially in March. And we talk about all year, like we're preparing for March. That's what we're doing every game, every day, every win, every loss is helping us prepare for March, because, you know, it all comes down to the craziness of the tournament. And if you're not prepped for it, then you end up going home. And so we talk about it all year. Everything that we're doing is part of the journey, and part of the adversity that we face is part of learning, getting stronger, growing as a group, so that we can be ready come tournament time.
Yeah, and tournament time is win or go home. I mean,
That's
as
right.
we've been
It's
talking
here.
about.
Yeah, it's
so
here.
it's here, ready to go. But talking about some of these leaders on the team. Obviously, we talked about Marija, but then you also have Arna, Rochelle, and we even saw Arna start coming off the bench as well too, just a few games. And we kind of saw something a little bit different from her. Tell me a little bit like what differences you saw from her starting to the bench stuff.
You know,
coming
Arna,
off the bench.
yeah, Arna's tough. She is. She's tough, and she's the type of kid and the type of player that, you know, no matter where we need her, she's going to step up and do an excellent job. And so, in those few games, we needed her coming off the bench, and she, we talked to her about it, and she said, "Yeah, that's perfectly fine." Like, she just understands the importance of being a good teammate and sometimes mixing things up a little bit. But yeah, she's a great leader out there on the floor. She's that stability. And so I think she's learned a lot in the last couple of games too. I think she's learned a lot about herself and a lot about what we need from her. And so she's been like, she really is just a great kid to coach, because she's so flexible and so understanding of team first.
You know, speaking of team first, I mean, obviously this team has always played team basketball throughout the year. I mean, it's been something that, we've talked about defensively, shooting percentages. No one just really just goes off the stat sheet every single week, and it's been that type of play. Have you seen that through a lot of your teams, or has that just been mostly like this year? Obviously, you said it's a different year, like it's a different team, and these girls are awesome, but has it been kind of the same way through all the years that you've coached?
I think that's what makes this group so special, is that in any night, any one of them can go off. And that's what's like, it's like Danae's just really stepped up lately, and it's just been awesome to see her do that. But I mean, we've got consistency from Rochelle and Dasani and Arna, but we also have people like Marija come up and step up and hit some big shots for us. And so it's really kind of, I think it'll be kind of hard to scout from the other side, because we just have so many players that can do so many things. And so it's just a matter of who steps up that night.
What's the most important thing your team needs to focus on going into Region 9 play?
I think the most important thing that the girls and all of us actually as a whole need to focus on is definitely living in the moment, and not getting ahead of ourselves, and not looking, even in the game itself, not looking at the next play, not looking at the last play, like living in the moment of that play, and that play is the most important thing at that time. And so understanding that we need to do an excellent job staying together as a whole, and picking each other up when, obviously handling the adversity that comes through the game, but most importantly, just living in the moment is our biggest focus.
So I'm going to piggyback off that just a little bit, just for the last question. Obviously, it's been a tough regular season, 21-9 though, and had some really good big wins, and 10-3 at home, so guarded home really well. What was the biggest lesson that you learned from this team this year, or something that they've learned? What's the biggest lesson that you've seen so far?
I think the biggest lesson that I've learned from this group especially is the importance of confidence, because we are I think we're a very capable team. I really do. I think we're a very capable team, and we're capable of not just, having a good record, but we're capable of going all the way. I really think that. And so, but I think the confidence and understanding and knowing that's who we are, I think is a big deal. And so times where we've had low confidence, or times where we've lost games we shouldn't have, times where we've had really high confidence, we've kind of won some games we shouldn't have, though, at the same time. And so I think the biggest thing for our group is that confidence, and that knowing, having no self-doubt, and especially in the moment, having the confidence to believe in each other, and to believe in ourselves, that this is where we belong. And so I think as long as we go into these games and we're confident, I think we're going to do just fine.
Awesome. Well, Coach, thank you again for joining me here on Coach's Corner. Once again, thank you guys so much for tuning in to another Coach's Corner. Again, the basketball game will be live streamed on Saturday at 6 o'clock. Don't miss it. It's going to be a good one, as these Lady Pronghorns try to continue their quest to a national title here in the National JUCO College Athletic Association tournament. But yeah, thank you guys again. From Coach Liz Lewis to Chase the Horseman Horsley, we will see you guys next time.